Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Thursday edition NBA style of Today in Sports Betting. Joined, as always, by my partner. It is Scott Reichel. You have to excuse Scott if he seems a little distracted. He just took a horrible beat from the world of hockey.
What a joke.
Just to you know what? I'm not even going to do it. Recap your bet so everybody can share your pain.
So I had a prop bet on Jordan Binnington over 30.5 saves.
Goalie for the Blues.
Goalie for the Blues. Because Colorado in the first game had 49 shots. He had 46 saves. So he has 25 saves after the second period.
Right on track.
I need a nice 6. He got me 4. He finished with 29. Are you serious? 4 saves in a period? I can't blame that on Binnington. I blame that more on Colorado's offense, which completely shut down. But really?
Were they just dumping it?
Well, it was really an interesting game because Colorado was dominating, and then one of their players took a massive cheap shot on one of the Blues guys. So it was a 5-minute major penalty. Blues had a power play. They took over the game. They ended up scoring once, and they made it close. But no, Colorado just kind of took their foot off the gas. But I needed 6 saves in a period for a team that was averaging 12.5, and they got 4.
Yeah. Well, I needed I needed the Lakers to win by 5, so
they won by 3.
We all have our cross to bear.
You're rooting for overtime or a rebound and a push.
Yeah, when they ran off all the clock, that killed me.
That was actually hilarious.
If they'd have got the timeout when they should have, with 10 seconds left or whatever.
That was so funny.
I'm right in there pushing. I'm either going to get the overtime, or I'm going to get the foul, and I'm going to get 5. So or I get to watch Anthony Davis chunk another free throw. So
Kerr's sprinting down the court to call timeout, and I'm just like, you really just watched Curry being triple teamed at half court for 5 seconds, and then decided to use a timeout.
I don't understand it.
Really?
I don't know.
That's what you came up with?
Have a plan, Kerr. Have a plan.
Whatever. Good.
All right. Hey, we got one game to talk about, Scott. One game. People tuning in to hear our NBA stuff, and they hear 5 minutes of hockey, so that's cool. No, I brought it up. I
just kind of have to, right? I mean, that's a ridiculous beat.
It literally just happened, like 30 seconds before we start the video.
ESPN lied to me. They made up 2 saves.
That was the worst.
ESPN tells me saved by Binnington, and then you turn on the game. He's not even in the net.
No.
And then ESPN deleted it. I don't know what happened.
I turned on the game just in time to see an empty netter from the blue line. Like,
I don't know.
ESPN is looking at, buddy. I got bad news for you.
Yeah.
Pacers Wizards -3, 238.5. Scott. Well, I'll tell you what, these games between these two have not been low scoring this season.
Then again, neither were the games with the Spurs and the Grizzlies, and that game flew under. So
yeah. So, and we poo-pooed the whole playoff thing. And yeah, we should have chased the steam there, buddy.
Well, I haven't poo-pooed it for the rest of the games. I've still split my over-unders because the Lakers under I really liked. Probably should have been my play of the day, but then again, hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, it was one of those games where you just assumed that the Grizzlies would pick it up, kind of like what we saw during the regular season. Absolutely not. The Spurs decided from the get-go, we're going to hold the ball like Virginia and see what happens. And they lost.
Didn't go well.
Yep.
Didn't go well. What were they down 20 in the first quarter?
Something like that. It was not pretty. Truth is, I missed most of the game. I watched a decent amount of Kluber's no-hitter mixed with the double overtime game with the Capitals and Bruins. But it was definitely a game I turned on late, and I could just tell Valanciunas from the get-go was going to dominate on the inside like we thought he would. What do you have, like 23 and 22?
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised by the outcome.
Nope. No, it was fine. I just needed more points in that game.
Yep.
All right. So Washington, Scott, they allow the most points in the NBA, but
they don't like to brag.
They don't like to brag, but they're not horrible as far as defensive efficiency goes, because they give up a lot of points, Scott, because they go fast.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with Washington is they are susceptible to the big runs. They can't seem to get out of their own way. They can't seem to clamp it down for 48 minutes. Case in point, last game, they're up 2 on Boston at halftime. Third quarter starts. They look up. 5 minutes later, they're down 14. the game's
Maybe
over.
somebody should guard Tatum.
Just raining the threes.
I'm not a Scott Brooks guy, so you're preaching to the choir here. I don't think he's a very good coach. I do think that if they win this game against Indiana, he'll probably keep his job for another year because Westbrook loves him and he had all the huge numbers and whatever. But you have any thoughts on this game? I'll let you go first.
I think this Indiana defense really seems to be clicking right now. I know we're not going to have LeVert again, but they didn't seem to miss him last time against Charlotte, and I think you and I both agree that Charlotte probably has a superior defense to Washington, right?
They should. You wouldn't have been able to tell in the last game, but I think they do.
That's what I'm saying. So, I'll take the points. I'll take the points with the Pacers here. I like this Wizards team coming in, but they just weren't able to get it done against Boston. And arguably, I don't know. I think I like this Indiana team right now better than I like Boston. So I know that's kind of a fool's errand to compare games like that because everything's different. Flow is different. Matchups are different, but they just aren't a team that can clamp down long enough to take care of business. I think at worst, this is a coin flip. I'll take the 3 points.
Yeah, I agree. I like Indiana plus the points. However, my rationale is a little bit different than yours. Watching a decent amount of that game before I got bored after about, 10 minutes, Westbrook couldn't move at all. And we already knew Beal was injured, and you've seen how Beal's performed in the 2 games since he's come back. His point totals are okay, I guess, but his efficiency is non-existent.
Right.
He's been extremely inefficient from the floor. And Westbrook, I think you'd agree that something's up with that leg of his because he was not moving too well in that game against Boston. You agree?
I don't know. They can do wonderful things with the rehabilitation and the physical therapy in a couple of days, but he needs to be a lot better than he was the other night, and he needs to not have it lock up on him or seize up on him, halfway through.
That was the thing, though, is you can argue about the shooting and the efficiency, which has never really been a strong suit, but it was just simple Westbrook explosiveness, which was just non-existent, and he looked very similar to the way that he did earlier in the year when he was playing through a torn quad. Now, I'm not saying that he has a torn quad again, but he was playing through it all year, didn't really miss much time. I am kind of curious if all the extra stress and all the minutes that he's logged might have caused him to re-aggravate that quad because there were a lot of similarities with the sluggishness that he was moving at. I like Indiana, and the question is, you have 3 games in the regular season which had at least 256 points.
Mm-hmm.
Total in this one is around 240 or 239. I see 239 on FanDuel. I like the under. And maybe that makes me a lunatic because I don't know why you'd want to step in front of an Avalanche like this, but it worked well for Spurs unders bettors yesterday, and I don't see much over money coming in on this game. Do you?
Yeah, because
you see over money coming in anyway.
Yeah, because that's what people do. But I'm with you. If I'm going to play, I just don't have any confidence in this Washington offense.
I can't look past Beal and Westbrook being injured because that means the supporting guys are going to have to step up, and I don't think they can.
Yeah, well, of course, the thing about Beal and Westbrook, especially if Westbrook misses some time, it's not like you're going to miss him on the defensive side, but you're definitely going to miss his production, and you're going to definitely miss him as somebody that can deal the rock to Bradley Beal. So I'm all over. Even without the injury news, I still like Indiana in this spot. I'll play the under with you. I think that's solid logic involved there.
The thing is, you're looking at the total points, and I know that Indiana ended up scoring 144 against Charlotte. The defense was also really good in the first half before the second half came about. I know you had like 140-something points, but I can't even use that as reference because that game was over at halftime. Like, that just wasn't even a game at that point. It was especially over after the third quarter. But Indiana shot 55% from the floor, 45% from 3. That's not happening again. And if you look at Washington, the issue I still have is that Westbrook, even if he's injured, he's going to take a lot of shots. And it's the same with Beal. And if even one of them has an off game, and you're also expecting both these teams to – I'd say that, of course, in order to lose, you basically need both teams to break 120. I just don't see that happening. I think one team will probably finish with around 115.
Well, and I'll give you a little more fodder there, Scott. Brogdon's questionable. So
questionable.
What's that?
It's always questionable.
Well, I understand, but he was added to the injury list, so it's not necessarily a good sign.
I actually kind of want Brogdon to play because I think he's actually a pretty good defensive guard.
That's what I'm saying. Can they? Does that affect the total at all if Brogdon is ruled out?
I think it does because Brogdon likes to play a little bit slower. If you throw in McConnell there for about 30-something minutes, McConnell's a huge track meet assist guy.
Does it affect your side because somebody's gonna have to suck up those minutes.
Thing is, do you want to fade a home? Do you want to fade a home team in these playing games because the home teams are undefeated? That's the real question you want to ask, even besides the injury news and the matchup itself, because the Wizards are 3-0 in the regular season, but now with Westbrook's injury, no LeVert, potentially no Brogdon, there are a lot of uncertainties here. But the only thing I know is that if you're looking at Washington, I'm not going to overreact to one game against Charlotte, but I really think Westbrook has a serious injury, and I think he might need surgery. That's pure speculation by me, but it looked really bad against Boston.
Okay.
I think you could probably agree that it definitely did not look good.
No, it definitely did not look good. So we'll see. Is he even on? I don't even think he's on the injury report.
No, because I know he's going to play. But in reality, I think you'll agree that you wouldn't be surprised to see some news break after. Oh, by the way, he has like a torn quad or something in his leg, and he's been playing through it anyway. That's what I expect to hear as soon as the season's over for Washington. Whether they lose this game or whether they lose to Philly or whenever they lose, reports going to come out that Westbrook has something that's torn in his leg.
Certainly possible. I don't discount that. I don't discount that possibility, and that should certainly limit his minutes, obviously, if that's true. So
he's a gamer. He might play through it, but he might not play well through it.
No, good point. All right. Anything else on the card get you excited today? I'm kidding.
Well, if you look at the rest of the actual card, it's non-existent.
Got a prop? Any prop you like that you've looked at?
Well, that's the thing, is that Westbrook, of course, had 5 assists against Boston. They did a pretty good job of stopping him. Westbrook might be injured, but when it comes to rebounding, Westbrook doesn't give a damn, and he's still a phenomenal rebounder. His rebound total was 14.5 in this game, which is insane for a guard until you realize how Westbrook's actually done rebounding the ball against the Wizards. Spoiler alert, he's insanely good at rebounding the ball against the Pacers. If you look at Westbrook's numbers, the last game, for example, went to overtime. Westbrook had a nice 19, played 44 minutes in that game. Just to go through his actual game logs against the Pacers, he is averaging, in 3 games, he's averaging 18 rebounds per game against Indiana. And you look at who Indiana has as a big man, they have Sabonis, and that's basically it. Because without Miles Turner, they don't really have a backup center. And I'm assuming that even though Westbrook is injured, if this game is close, he should still probably play 35-plus minutes because Washington's going to need him to. And he should probably go over in rebounds. But when it comes to assists, he's averaging about 20 assists per game against Indiana. I can't take the over because I just didn't like what I saw with Boston, but the rebounding was still there. And, of course, Westbrook is known to kind of pack it in defensively in order to help out on rebounding. So I think he'll still go over in rebounds. You?
All right. I don't think I want to put all my eggs into Westbrook staying healthy for playing 36 minutes basket.
That's fair. It's just looking at the actual games against Indiana, and he flies over the rebounding total.
If he was healthy, it'd be a no-brainer.
Yep.
I'll give you that. All right. As always, if you're looking for a second opinion on this game, make sure you stop by. Check out winnersandwhiners.com. Full previews and predictions on every single game, including this one. Best part is it's always free, so make sure you make it part of your daily handicapping regimen. That is winnersandwhiners.com. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for the rest of the team here at Winners and Whiners, we appreciate you guys stopping by to watch us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate the effort. And, of course, we wish you best of luck on all of your plays today. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money when you pull them out and head back to the window. You guys have a great day, and we'll see you right around the corner on the baseball edition of Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.